Hello to anyone who's listening. Hello to anyone who's listening. This is the first of the recorded journals that I feel like it should have started earlier. But it's just been the fear of failing and having people see me fail. But I've realized that this is a lifelong journey, and although I still have fear of regressing, I know that the only point to life is growth, is progress. And I know that in my heart. I trust that because I felt and had known a life that had no growth, that had no progress, that had no purpose. And I do not ever want to go back there ever again. So I'm finally found the confidence and trust in myself to start making these recordings, hopefully every night, if not, every night, if not, like every other day. I don't know, I'm going to figure out a routine that works for me, but I realized I need to start. I need to start pushing record and journaling my journey of self-development, of building an unstoppable mindset. And what I mean by that is not a mindset that cannot be defeated, but a mindset that will not let a defeat or failure stop me. That no matter what failure I encounter, I will get back up and I will keep going. And it has been scary, but I've come to realize that, in life is not about other people's perception of you. It's not about what they think about you. It's not about getting the credit for being some outstanding individual. Life is really just simply about knowing what you want and measuring yourself each day on the effort that you put in to get to where you want to go. It's not about the outcome. It's not about getting there, because there is no end. You'll always want more. It's the human condition. So what really matters is not outcomes, it's not achievements, it's not reaching your goals. It's about the effort that you put in every day. That is what makes a life fulfilling. That's what makes you feel good, alive, when you lay your head down at night. There's a reason why successful people become depressed or lose their way. It's because this whole time they thought that achieving something is what was going to make them feel so good. But the reality is that it's the hard work, the effort that they put in every single day that was making them feel so alive. And when you feel like you've reached the end of your journey, and yet you still have a whole lifetime ahead of you, and yet you stop endeavoring, you stop striving for something, that's when you become depressed. That's when you feel numb. But you feel the same way when you haven't achieved anything and you're still not trying to achieve anything, when you have nothing to put effort towards. So I want to start this journal by saying what I think has been a big breakthrough for myself. And that's really what I want to share each time, is my breakthrough for the day. But the breakthrough that I've had recently, and this came from the wrestling great and college coach of Penn State, Cael Sanderson, his philosophy being, know what you want and measure yourself on the effort you put in every day, not outcomes. Of course you want to achieve, of course you want to reach your goals, but what's really going to make you feel good at the end of the day is the effort that you put in. And if you truly feel like you gave everything you possibly could, then you won't care about what the outcome is. You will know that you gave all of yourself. And this has helped me find a new light in life. It's like I have thought about what I want, and I think most people go through life never knowing what they want out of life and never even thinking about it. Most people have never been asked, what do you want? But it's also a really hard, deep question, because to know what we want, I think a lot of us, most people have to figure out what they don't want. And that's a really hard, painful process to go through. I see all this greatness in athletes and intellectuals, and since childhood they have known what they've wanted. But I think most humans don't grow up that way. I don't think most people know at a young age what they want, who they want to be. And so for all of us who don't have something pulling us, we have to push through a lot of pain figuring out what we don't want in order to figure out what we do want. And so I, just like most people, have gone through life thinking that the joys in life come through, all of the superficial pleasures from drinking and television, social media, empty relationships, empty sex, all these things that have been said time and time again by wise people, that these things don't bring you happiness. And I suppose I've had to experience that for myself to understand that, right? Perhaps we all do. But if I can help people, other people, get on the path to knowing what they do want faster, then that's a worthy cause. Most people, like I said, are never asked, what do you want? They don't consider it. And even if they were, it's so sad, but most people don't believe in themselves, and they don't believe they can get something that they want. It makes me emotional just because of how many people I've talked to recently that you can tell they have inspiration, they have passion, but they simply don't believe that they're the type of person or that they are meant to achieve something great. They don't believe that they can change and become the kind of person who can seriously pursue something big. And that makes me so sad because, I don't know, I've always felt like I could achieve something. I've always believed in myself. If I get my act together, if I actually try. But again, it's this breakthrough that I've had recently, trying to study success, trying to study mindset. The breakthrough that I've had recently is you have to know what you want, and you have to measure yourself on effort and not on outcomes. You can't hate yourself for not having achieved anything. You can love yourself tomorrow if you start putting in the effort. But to start putting in the effort, you need to know what direction you're going in. You need to know what you want. And what I want is to get people to believe, like I do, that they can change, that they can find discipline, that they can strive for something that is hard to believe they can become, that they can do. Because again, I've just talking to so many people, coworkers. I work at Tesla and I talk to people all the time. I just don't have that mindset. They don't believe. But I just know in my heart that any human being, we're all the same fundamentally. That anyone can achieve greatness. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. But once you know what you want, and if you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it, you can. And it doesn't happen overnight. And so I want to share my process. What do I want? I mean, it's not just that. I want many things, right? And I don't mean superficial things. I mean, internally, I want to become strong-willed, disciplined, focused. I want to be someone who has the mindset and who has the heart and the strength to strive for something big, even though it might seem decades away, if achievable at all. So I'm going to share my journey. And it's not just about the outcome. It's not about achieving something. It's mainly about, I want people to feel good again. And by the talks I've had with so many people, people aren't striving for anything because they've never been asked what they want, and they've never been told to believe in themselves. I guess I'll start there. That's journal number 1. I don't know what more there is to say at this moment, but I guess I just want to start off this vlogging journey and tell everybody my breakthroughs. And the biggest one right now is know what you want, figure out what you want. And that might mean figuring out what you don't want. But I think we all know most people don't want to be who they are. And that's reasonable. But it doesn't mean to hate yourself. It just means that you have work to do on yourself. And you can change. And you must believe in yourself. That is foundational to living a feel-good life every single day, is that if you put in the effort, you can change. You can become someone that can make an impact in the world. So that's it, I suppose. Know what you want and measure yourself, not on outcomes, but on effort. Effort. Put in the effort every day, and your output of effort will increase exponentially as you figure out what you want and as you figure out what you need to do to get what you want. I don't really know exactly what I want. I'm not sure I ever will. I just know I've needed to put in work on myself. I know what I don't want. I don't want to drink or smoke anymore. I don't want lust. I don't want empty sex or relationships. I don't want to gorge myself with horrible food. I want to be someone who can make a dent in the universe, who can make an impact. And all I know so far is that there are so many people who have impacted me through videos just like this, just through talking, through giving advice that they've learned and wisdom that they've gained through their journey of striving to do something. I want to inspire other people to believe they can change and that they can live a life that feels good if they feel numb, if they feel empty, depressed, because I've been there. I felt that pain. And I thought I was never going to escape it. Truly. I used to think to myself at night, how am I going to get out of this? And I want you guys to know that you can. If you start looking, you can change. Anyone can change. You have the ability. But start looking for what you want. Start looking at what you don't want. And then begin to evaluate what you need to do, the effort, where you need to direct your effort each day to get what you want. And that'll eventually turn into a routine. And then all you need to do is stay consistent, and you will eventually perfect that routine. And you will become so focused on what it is that you want, and it'll become your life. And eventually you'll realize, I'm on a path and I finally feel good. I finally feel alive. It's the best way I can put it into words right now. That's all I can come up with. So if this reaches one person, that's worth it. But journal number 1. Okay. Love everybody. I love everybody. Believe in yourself. Believe you can change. And the blueprint for that is figure out what you want. Figure out what you don't want. And then start putting in the effort. Create a routine. And make it better every single day. And then, yeah. That's what makes me feel alive today. It's what makes me feel good. It's what finally makes me feel like I'm living a life worth living. All right. Love you guys. See you next vlog.